Okay, so me and the 3 babies are in the car. We're about to drive. We're in Florida. We're about to drive down quite a ways deeper into Florida. I am all sweaty from lugging my couple totes of possessions into the car because it is warm as F out. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know what this new place is gonna be like. I know it's a cabin. I think it's quite rural, but I'm hoping I can get some good art making done there and some just like after everything that's happened lately. So anyway, I like filming this for you and thank you for being here. So I'm driving, I can't look at the camera, but I've got Basil here, Scout's back there. We're only an hour out from where we're going. I'm relieved because I'm really tired of driving. I don't know how I used to do 12 hours pretty much straight with like bathroom breaks from St. Louis to Pittsburgh and back. Well, it was one way, but I'd go home to Pittsburgh from school in St. Louis. I don't know how I used to do that. I've gotten old and now driving is tiring. But yeah, I found a gas station. It was a country gas station and they had hot macaroni and cheese, so that was awesome. And really delicious french fries. And I'm a little bit nervous about where I'm going. I see a lot of Spanish moss, which is making me thrilled. I'm gonna do some kind of paintings to do with Spanish moss. I can tell already. I've been obsessed with it ever since I went to Savannah, Georgia years ago. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to, I'm gonna get some canvases because I had to leave the canvases. I brought the paints I use because they're more expensive to replace, but I'm gonna get some canvases and sit outside or inside depending on how hot it is that day and paint and just breathe for a month. And I did therapy in the car and we talked about reparenting, which is kind of teaching oneself to show themselves the like love and compassion and positive regard, like self-love stuff that they didn't get as children if their parents were kind of shitty like mine were. And hopefully not yours, but a lot of us, it seems. Hashtag adult children of alcoholics 12-step program. Yeah, and we talked about connecting to my inner child, and I'm gonna have to do a video about that at some point because it really interests me. That was a big part of the beginning of my sobriety journey, was learning how to sit through difficult emotions and learning to kind of connect with my inner child. And the way I did that was I was drinking too much to avoid the reality of what was going on in my marriage and to avoid feeling so much anxiety and grief because I've lost some people really close to me. We'll get into that at another point, I'm sure. But I was drinking to avoid that. So once I stopped drinking, I had to like feel those things and sit with them. And I didn't know how to sit with them. And an older woman in recovery told me, she said that since I write, since I'm a writer, to not just sit there and ruminate on it, to write to the feeling and say like, dear fear, dear panic, dear, anger, dear sadness, dear despair, like what are you here to tell me? And it's like the Guest House poem by Rumi, which is great. You should look it up, but I'll probably read it for you later once I get there because I'd actually like to reread it and I'd love to share it with you. Anyway, that's it for now. Probably like 45 minutes left to go. Very ready to be there and get settled into my little tiny cabin. Basil's a little bit tuckered as well. Oh, sorry, buddy. Look how offended he looks. Oh my goodness, he's gonna lay back down. I know this dog. Okay, he's too offended. He doesn't want to lay back down. He doesn't love me anymore. No. Okay, the end for now. Okay, so I'm looking a little worse for wear after a multiple hour drive with 3 dogs. However, I'm now in the tiny cabin. I'm gonna show you around for a minute. I'm very glad to be here. I get to be here for a month. Ah. Okay, so I just got here. I am looking a little bit frazzled, but I really love it here so far, which is a huge relief because I was so nervous leaving the other Airbnb this morning. I was nervous about the drive. I drive like a grandma. I'm not a great driver. But yeah, I love it here. I might see, and I mean, I just got here like 15 minutes ago, so we'll see. But I might see if they'll let me stay here longer than a month because this seems pretty dope. Also, I definitely stopped and bought some art canvases on the way here, and I'll show you I'll probably paint at this table. My Airbnb host made me banana bread. How sweet is that? And there's all these tables out here that I can use. And I think that's really cool. There's this cool canopy so that my super white ass doesn't get sunburnt. Okay, tour time. So I ended up with the hunter themed cabin, which is pretty, note dead deer head, note antler, camo lamp, sorry Beth, note deer, which is pretty funny because I am a vegetarian. However, this is gorgeous and this bed seems comfy enough. And I've slept in smaller beds with 3 dogs. So I'm gonna open these curtains. I think I'll get pretty good light in here actually. I'm not a hanging out in the darkness type. I am a creature of light. Scout, 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 what do you think? Get up, Scout, Scout, get up. Oh, Basil's found the bed. Basil and Scout are excited to be here and glad to have you. Yeah, this is just really cool. Like, I love these little stools. I can't wait to sit here and paint. I thought there was only gonna be an outdoor shower because I thought that's what I'd read online, but I have my very own shower so I can wash this hair, thank God, after today. More deer. The deer are following me all the way from Pennsylvania, from which I hail. Oh my gosh, there's another one up there. Okay, this is pretty funny at this point, actually. I'm gonna play count the deer there's antlers, there's ducks. There's dogs though, so like the dogs are more our speed. Okay, so anyway, back to the tour. There's these bunk beds here, which I'm just gonna use to store things on. One can be Basil's day bed. Scout, you checking out the couch, baby? Oh my God, there's more. Oh my God, there's more. Okay, that's too funny. Kitchen. I love all this wood. It's so pretty. Dragonflies. So you guys are currently on the receiving end of seeing all of my worldly belongings. That's how big these are. This one's like about as high as my hand. And I'm not even sad about it. Of course, I remembered a full-blown paper guillotine, but forgot pretty much all of my clothes or just didn't have time to pack them. It was a flee out of a dangerous situation thing, you guys. But I've got a lot of art supplies and art. Yeah, I just couldn't be happier to be somewhere where I get to stay until November at least. It's starting to get rainy up there, which is really exciting because cozying up in a cabin, like a tiny cabin with my 3 dogs and making art while it rains, sounds pretty fucking magical to me. This is what we're working with. And I'm gonna do a video on becoming an accidental minimalist and actually how good it's felt. All right, I'll get to that another day. But yeah, thank you for being here. Filming all of this is really making it so much more fun. I don't know, I love watching other people's vlogs, so hopefully mine do something for you too, or at least amuse you or make you go, oh my gosh, at least I'm not having the life upheaval that woman is. So glad to have you, no matter what your reaction. So I got a little spiritual this morning and I pulled an oracle card because we like to do that sometimes when we're feeling brave and not afraid of bad news. And I pulled The Thread, which I think is really beautiful. I love Kim Kranz's art. And what the book says, that's why I got my little reading glasses on. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. Definitely, if you watched my first video, which I just made a few days ago, like a lot's been going on. And I'm wondering what the thread is. And I think that the thread is presence, like the present moment, because that's all we can follow, you know? I'm a person who struggles with a lot of anxiety. I have like pretty much a panic attack every day. And as all of this has been going on in my life, you know, losing my housing, losing 2 of my dogs, like just all of this stressful stuff, I'm really proud of myself because I've been still lowering my anxiety medications because I don't like the side effects, except for the less anxiety with the doctor's supervision. Don't panic. But yeah, so I take 2 different ones for anxiety and I'm literally on 1/3 of the dose I was a few months ago on both of them. So I'm really proud of myself. But anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. But anyway, yeah, thread, presence. I got sober through a Buddhist-based program called Recovery Dharma, and I like to meditate. I like to do sound bath. I'll talk more about this stuff sometime, but everything is okay in the present. And with my anxiety, I get stuck in the future a lot. And I honestly don't really stress about the past very much. Like, it is what it is, you know? But the future terrifies me. And my anxiety is always about the future. Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? So I think this card is a good reminder for me. It's a card face. Let me try and get it right. There we go. Now I have the thread as a face. I think that it's a reminder to me to follow the thread of the present moment and not like try and pull it real fast. I don't know. I just, I think I needed that reminder today. And I got really anxious this morning. I took a cold shower. It did not really help, unfortunately. And I called someone that I adore. That helped. And I don't know. It passes. It's just, if anyone else is struggling with anxiety, throw some coping skills in the comments, because I'm always looking for new tools. What helps you when you're anxious? Please tell me. You guys, I am so happy here. I'm like the happiest I've been quite a while. And I'm staying in one of these really adorable little cabins. I'm asking the Airbnb lady if I could possibly just rent this one out to myself. It's really creatively inspiring. I love having less belongings. Like, when I've moved, I've taken a big U-Haul. I just feel so much more free, and I have less art supplies and clutter, and it's just like I know everyone says this about like minimalism, and I didn't mean to become a minimalist. It just happened, and I was not happy about it at first, but like, holy shit, it really works for me, and I can just think more clearly. Like, I had so many crystals and books and, you know, art supplies and furniture and just so many goddamn things, and now I just feel like I can think more clearly. So anyway, that is the whole point of this, is just that I am so happy here. It's really nice to feel so happy. I hope you're happy. If you're not, it'll get better. It always gets better. That's something I've learned. I've been in some very, very dark places. Like, I texted a crisis line not that long ago. It really helped. Text the crisis line even if you're just lonely. I've been in some really, really dark places. I feel like every time I get into one of those places, I get a good period after. Like, it feels like the reward for not unaliving myself when I feel so afraid that I want to is that I get sunshine. You know what I mean? Not literal. Well, sometimes literal, but like metaphorical, existential sunshine shortly afterwards. So thank you for being here. Diva down. My anxiety got so bad today that I just went and threw up. Not on purpose. I just get really dizzy and nauseated when I'm anxious, and I kind of felt it coming on, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, text some people, and meditate. But then it hit. I think, yeah, PTSD, and then possibly panic disorder, social anxiety, and generalized anxiety, which I've been diagnosed with all of those, but my therapist thinks that all the anxieties are kind of underneath the umbrella of the PTSD. So if I can fix the complex PTSD, then maybe the other ones will stop. But anyway, yeah, diva down. I'm just gonna drink water and lay here and listen to a sound bath. That's the plan for right now. Hazel. So it is, buddy, do you mind? It's 3:33 in the afternoon, and the anxiety has not been letting up. Sense of like doom and panic. How fun is that? Today my friend said to me, he was like, what did he say? He said I was wonderful, but in a constant state of dread and anxiety. And I was like, not constant, but like pretty fucking close. It is full on afternoon out, and I am just laying down. I've been meaning to meditate for like 3 hours now, possibly longer. And every task I try to do to distract myself just seems to make it worse. I have taken a prescription strength Benadryl, and I'm just going to lie here for a while. So the sedatives made me less anxious, so I'm really grateful for that. But now I'm not asleep, and I finally feel relaxed enough to focus. So I'm currently going to war with this Instagram block on my website, trying to get it to update. So I'm single single again. My boyfriend that I had the disagreement with this morning just told me he thinks we're not compatible, which I actually agree with. I'd been kind of considering breaking up with him all day, but I was in the like wait and see mindset, like not testing anybody, but just like observing. Yeah, I'm by no means heartbroken. I had not known this man a long time. Luckily, I think I said this in another clip, but I've gotten better at understanding and being able to sense the difference between being alone and being lonely. And I actually very much enjoy my own company. So it's not, I guess the thing that makes me sad is that like he was somebody I could text and call on the phone because he didn't live here. We'd met in person and like spent some time together, but he actually was like stationed overseas. Yeah, your girl's single again. But yeah, I really honestly am more excited about like my creative work and projects than men in relationships right now. Honestly, sometimes these men in relationships seem like a lot more hassle than benefit. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of buckle down. I need to take a quiz or something online that's like, am I a workaholic? But I really love what I do, and I'm so worried about the future with like finances, and I just feel this pressure. I learned a lot from being married and divorced and having done like years of couples therapy with my ex-husband and having done years of therapy by myself since then. So not stressing. I don't love filming at night. It's very like shit lighting, but here we are. I wanted to like just make this, not crying either, my eye just itched, but I just wanted to make this like now. I guess maybe so I could look back at it, but I'm probably gonna show you too. I'm really enjoying making these vlogs. It's super fun because I can't remember if I told you, I spent like a decade of my life as a photographer. I'll show you my camera. His or her name is Francis. I named it that because it's gender neutral. My cameras have, in their various iterations, have all had the same name since I was in college, which was 12 years ago or some shit. I'm so old. I guess if someone had told me like several days ago that he was gonna break up with me, I would have just been like, oh God, more upheaval after like everything that's happened recently. The past couple of days, which like I said, I just hadn't known him for that long. And especially after this morning when I did that long rant that I filmed about dismissiveness and behaviors like that. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big blow. It doesn't really, the only difference feels like I don't have someone to text. You know, the downside was he was really good for my anxiety. Like I would call him some nights and just like be on the phone so that I could fall asleep, because with my PTSD, I mean, even with him being like in Europe, like almost always, it's like with my PTSD, I have a lot of trouble with feeling much more afraid at night than during the day. So it's just, even if someone's just on the other end of the line and we're like not even really talking, I fall asleep so much faster. So I am gonna miss that. There were red flags, and I think that when I first got out of my marriage, I couldn't tell, I was like colorblind. I couldn't tell the difference between red flags and green flags. Thank God for therapy, because now I can actually tell the difference a lot better. Oh, I totally forgot to go back to so I spent years and years as a photographer. I like doing this because it's more casual, but I still get to document things. So I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And if you're watching, thank you for watching. Anyway, yeah, so that's the tea for tonight. Oh, you know, just planning my week out. Does anyone else get a weird sense of accomplishment when they fill up their pillbox? This is as good as the sanity gets, you guys. I'm a 33-year-old woman trying her best.